Hello Miss Mega and friends. We are Group E, consists of Mutiara, Agatha, Lista, Muhammad, and Maria. We discuss about teaching vocab and grammar.
Hello guys, my name is Agatha Sinta. I will explain how to teaching vocabulary with hot seat game activity. So, hot seat game activity is a classic vocabulary activity that has been around for a while in the language learning world. Hot seat games can be used with all age group and not just kids, and can be a good way to get everyone involved in the activity. Hot seat games, sometimes called back to the board activity. This game could be played at the beginning class as a warmer. It is also a fun activity for reviewing important vocabulary at the end of the lesson. In this case, the use of hot seat can become one alternative technique that can be used the teacher to recycle the student vocabulary. By using this game, the teacher can recycle the student vocabulary in easy and challenging way, so that the student will be easy remember words that have been studied. This is very lively activity and can be adapted to different class size. If you have too many teams, perhaps some teams will have to wait to play, or if the team size are large, you can restrict how many teams member do the describing. It is really easy to implement the hot seat game in the English classroom. There is no special prepare for doing it. To play it, the teacher just need to prepare a list of words that have been taught in previous lesson or earlier that lesson for each team and stopwatch. The other equipment for doing this game is already available in classroom, such as empty chair, blackboard or whiteboard, and chalk or board marker. Okay, first start by asking for a volunteer to come the front and sit with their back to the board and read up the words from the box on the board. Tell the volunteer that the other participant will explain the meaning of the word, but can only use English. For example, if the word is human, they can say man. And then play the game and then repeat the activity with 2 more volunteers and 2 more words. Next, put participants in group sitting in circle. In each group, one chair should face away from the board. And then explain you are going to carry on playing the game, but this time in group. As soon as one person gets the word, they should stand up, then stop all the group and ask them to look. And then next, get everyone in the group to move around one chair, so a new person is sitting with their back to the board, and repeat the activity with new words. And then repeat this until all words have been guessed. Finally, ask what the connection is between the words. Maybe they are all about vocabulary. Okay, after this, we will watch the video so that we can know more clearly about hot seat games.
Well, if you really want a difficult one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You think I was gonna do this?
The sky is pollution. Yeah!
Ways of teaching vocabulary. Look at the picture. There are a table, technique, advantages, and disadvantages. So checking your understand each one before trying to complete the card, and then demonstrate the activities, spending about 5 minutes or less on each one. And finally, display the card and ask for volunteers to come and complete it with their ideas. Here we have several techniques, realia or picture. Show and write the words under each picture. You can see an example of realia or pictures. And using cards, give and complete the cards, ask to tick, then check with a partner. Words with similar meanings. Definitions, elicit the words by using definition. For example, what's the word for something you use to write with that uses ink? And the answer is pen. Context, on the board, write up the following example or give out a worksheet. Set or classification, ask to superordinate word or classification. For example, orange, bananas, grapes, apples are all blah blah blah. And the example and the answer is fruit. Matching, give worksheet and ask to match the word to the correct definition.
How to choose which vocabulary to teach students. Sometimes confused thinking about which word to learn first. About reading a text with student, and there are so many words you know need to be in advance or in the text. So I want to tell you a method you can think of on how you prioritize which words you need are the best words. Well, the way to do it first is give the participant the worksheet and ask them to tick the activity they will use. Nah, maybe the worksheet contains several choices in the numbers. For example, first is teach words are in the course book, or second maybe teach words that are easy to explain, and third is teach words that learners may need for the next activity. For the example is keyword in a reading text. Fourth is teach words that learners ask you to explain, or maybe teach words you think learners will find useful in their everyday life, and maybe teach words that are frequently used in English. Okay, after the first method, the second method is then put the participant in group and ask them to discuss their ideas. Nah, while the participant in group, you can monitor and listen to some of the ideas. And finally, open the discussion out of the whole class by asking the participant to explain their choice.
Manage teaching vocab grammar. Number 1. Realia and picture. Advantage, best for concrete noun, fun, clear, and memorable. Disadvantage, cannot really be used for abstract word. Number 2. Chart. Advantage, good for collocation and for reviewing language present earlier. Disadvantage, cannot be used for all vocabulary and can sometimes be confusing. Number 3. Definition. Advantage, good for consolidating form and meaning. Disadvantage, some words have more than one meaning. Number 4. Matching. Advantage, challenging and motivating. Disadvantage, sometimes purely a guessing game rather than a process of deduction. Number 5. Advantage, help understand and clarify meaning, and show how words can change their meaning depending on the situation. Number 6. Advantage. Help learners see patterns and links between sets of words. Disadvantage. Wrong set or qualification. Number 7. Word with similar meaning. Advantage. Good for recycling and reusing vocabulary previously learned. Disadvantage. Can add to confusion and create frustration.
There are two common definitions of grammar. First, descriptive grammar. Descriptive grammar is the systematic study and description of a language. It refers to the structure of a language as it's actually used by speaker and writers. And the second is perspective grammar. Perspective grammar is a set of rules and examples dealing with the syntax and word structure of a language, usually intended as an aid to the learning of that language. It refers to the structure of a language as certain people think it should be used. There are a lot of features in grammar. First is tenses. Tenses is when we talk about past, present, or future. Voice is about active or passive voice. Pronoun is occurrence of we, our, these, or those. Prepositions is occurrence of preposition. Modal is occurrence of modal. To infinitive is occurrence of to plus verb. Weather is occurrence of weather. By plus gerund is occurrence of by plus verb. Article occurrence of a or an. Determiner is occurrence of the. Extraposition occurrence of it plus verb to be plus that. Nominalization occurrence of the plus noun plus of. And the last position is about first, last, or ignored. Now, let's exploring the meaning in grammar. Look at these two sentences. What is the difference in meaning? A. The boy chased the dog. And B. The dog chased the boy. The difference is quite big, but is created simply by the word order called syntax. This illustrates the importance of grammar in terms of conveying meaning. The question is, how do we teach the difference in meaning? Traditionally, it might be a case of talking about subject, object, etc. However, this is learning about the language, not learning how to use it.
How do we teach grammar? Here we have 5 manners how do we teach grammar. Preparing to teach, choosing a teaching approach, starting with some basic rules, teaching more advanced activities, and teaching effectively. Here we have a picture, mind map how to teach grammar. Preparing to teach, you must know who your students are. Understand different learning style and refresh your understanding of grammar rules. Choosing a technique approach, and then you can see teaching more advanced activities, starting with some basic rules. At the 5 ways, teach singular and plural nouns, teach pronouns, teach how to conjugate verbs, teach a few irregular verbs, and teach how to respond in the negative. And teaching effectively, you can use example to teach grammar, build upon concepts that are familiar to the student, give students plenty of time to practice, make the instruction appropriate for your student, plan games and interesting activities, and correct student in a positive way. Guided discovery is an interactive approach to grammar instruction. Guided discovery requires teachers to plan activities and questions instead of just sitting and listening to the teacher talk. Guided discovery gives the student the autonomy to learn on their own with the support and guidance of the teacher. For example, I'm using guided discovery to teach my students about plurals. I may give my students the following sentence: I have 1 dog and 2 cats. The questions I pose could ask students to draw a picture of the subject's animals, ask how many dogs and how many cats there are, have them identify what is different between the first animal that is mentioned and the second, and so on.